I'm Mitch Wileczek, and this is Mitch-Information.
I want to introduce our guest, disc golfer, and custom van builder featured on the first season of Gutted, Patrick Coar.
I'm from Merchantville, New Jersey, South Jersey. I've been playing probably around like 8 years, but only 4 about seriously. So I built probably between like 14 and 18 vans.
With Gadget, you've been to 48 states, is that correct?
Yeah.
Alrighty, well let's get on the course and get this interview going. So, Pat, you grew up in Merchantville, have been playing for, you said 5 years?
4 years, 5 years, yeah.
5 years, and then you ended up going to college in Texas.
I did, yeah.
Can I ask why Texas?
Well, I really didn't have a plan on going to college. I was gonna do a gap year and then kind of last minute plans changed. So Texas was the only place I was gonna visit. My rugby team was going there anyway, and I was a rugby player back then. That's what I was gonna go to school for. So there's a team there that had a high class team. I went and visited them. Liked the school enough, you know, there really wasn't that much thought put into things, but I liked the school, the team was really good, and that's what I wanted to do.
Gotcha.
So I went there.
Nice.
Yeah. First hole of the day, it's all right. I'm also in between putters. This is my winter putter, this is my warm weather putter.
So you were sitting in your dorm one day and you saw a video from Backyard Vanner.
Yes.
Which inspired you to make that change and transition out of, you know, traditional, what I would say traditional university life, going to college, getting the degree, getting the job.
Yup.
What kind of struck you the most about that? What was so inspiring?
I kind of, you know, I didn't plan on going to school anyway, and then I had hurt my leg in rugby, so I couldn't do that anymore. So I was pretty set on moving to something else already. I just didn't really know what that would be. And I just saw that video, and really I was just like, oh, I could do that. Like, that really doesn't seem all that hard. I would love doing that.
Gotcha.
So I saw that first video. It was a really cool van. And it seemed like fun, seemed like something I was capable of doing. So that's what I kind of did.
You already had some carpentry skills?
I didn't have any skills like that really at the point. We had a couple tools in my house and all, but I never built anything before. And my first build was actually out of PVC and milk crates because I didn't know how to do any of the wood stuff.
Gotcha, okay. Summer putter it is.
Summer putter it is. It's warm out. Miss it? Let's go.
Love to see it.
Love to see it.
Can you describe that first rig to me? The one that you kind of took your first steps to building this, you know, brand that is now Patchworks.
Yeah, so it was a minivan that I got for $1,500.
Okay.
The guy I bought it from he was getting a new car and he was gonna trade it in, and that's the value that people were gonna give him for it. So he's like, if somebody can come tomorrow and give me that, I would do that. So that's what I did. The transmission ended up blowing like 2 weeks later, so it wasn't worth it. But I did that, and I just figured to start small and get in the van. I didn't really have any idea of like Patchworks or building bigger vans or anything like that. I just knew I wanted to travel, and figured starting small was probably the best way to do that.
Yeah.
So we had a bunch of PVC laying around. My mom's like she was a theater major and a set designer, so we had a bunch of that. Put some stuff together and threw some milk crates underneath, and that was the first van.
Nice.
Cash. Star frame.
Oh, hold on. Can't do that one.
Is that illegal?
Oh yeah, keep going.
Fight.
You're working on that first build with the PVC and all that.
Yeah.
What ended up happening to that build?
So I built it once and did a little bit with it, and then kind of rebuilt it. And then me and my partner at the time took a trip down the East Coast. And that was really the first trip I had done like that, and that's what really sparked the whole like, oh, I could do this forever type thing, and I could use some other stuff, maybe a bigger van. There was 2 of us at the time and that kind of stuff. So that was really still now, all the trips I've done, all the places I've been, that trip is one of the most fun I ever had. I guess just because it was the beginning of it. And I was like, whoa, like, there's so much out here, and you can park wherever, you can do whatever. So that was big, and I was glad to do that. Eventually that van got sold off to a friend of mine, and then I bought the first big Sprinter.
And has it gotten easier? I'm sure there's challenges that keep popping up. Each build is unique. I know that you've built out, you know, I think it was like a 30-foot long school bus, the Sprinter vans, minivans. I saw you recently did a smaller size school bus. What are the similarities that you see, and what are some differences?
I guess the similarities are just, it's all different. It's all just kind of a challenge. That's why none of it really, for me, it's never really felt hard, because I've just been open to the challenge and trying that kind of stuff. And that's kind of, some people build one thing and then they keep building one thing because they like similarities. But I kind of like switching it up and the challenges of all of it.
The rig that we're gonna see, the green one, the Patchworks one, you know, 48 and 365.
Absolutely.
How long have you been with that build? And do you have a name for it?
Yeah, her name is Gadget.
Oh.
Because of all the cool stuff she does.
Okay.
And I think we're just about at a year now. I think I built her last January, which is probably the longest I've ever had a van.
Wow.
Truthfully, yeah. So.
Is it getting to the point where you might miss it if you sell her? Because I've noticed you put Gadget up for sale a few times.
Well, I actually had a different green van that looked a lot like Gadget, and she was sold.
And is Gadget's paint job an homage to that first van?
Yeah. I got a lot of things right with that first van, and a lot of things kind of wrong, and then so got rid of that one and made Gadget, kept what I like, and fixed all the other stuff. And now she is perfect. She's the one I'm keeping for a very long time, more than likely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say that's your favorite rig?
Yes.
Okay. No, you know, outside of recency bias and all that.
Yeah. I'm obviously I'm biased because it's my van.
Sure.
But that's my favorite rig I've ever seen.
Cool.
So, yeah, she's cool. She does a lot of stuff. Swing.
Come on. Come on, summer putter. Winter putter? Oh, they're both so close.
I thought it was it. Little bit of some Macy runs.
I love it. Get back.
Park.
Slide? Ooh, a little bit far.
Skip wanted to give it.
After looking through the history of Coar, I need to know about Snork Maiden.
Oh, Snork Maiden, yeah. So that's the last short bus that I built. I had called her Daisy, and then the girl that bought her and is now traveling with her named her Snork Maiden, which I believe is after a white hippo in an anime thing. So she got a new name, which is a pretty sick name, and that's where Snork Maiden came from.
Gotcha. It was one of the more unique names of any rig, so I had to figure out if it was from your own mind.
Yeah, not from my own mind. Mine was Daisy, which is a lot less fun than Snork Maiden.
You were a member of the Gutted cast in 2020. What is Gutted?
Gutted is a competition rig building show. There's going to be different variations, but basically a couple teams building rigs in a set amount of time, around 5 days.
Okay.
3 teams, 3 different types of rigs, and then it's in fun locations. So Getting materials can be tough. You don't really know what you're going to get. 'Cause that's when you're building your van. In real life, you don't always get everything you want. So you kind of have to work with what you get and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Do the best you can in 5 days, and then there's a panel of judges that picks who did the best job.
In one episode, you made a point about the cabinet accents being stained to expose the natural grain of the wood.
Yes.
There was a decision being made about painting it or staining it or leaving it bare.
Yes.
And in a lot of your builds, we see a lot of natural grain expression. Do you see that as a hallmark of your style?
Yeah, I guess so. That's what I do most often. I just like wood. It comes out from nature that way, and it looks so good already. I'm a fan of keeping it. I like living inside of wood. I like the smell of wood. Most times when people see the rigs, oh wow, it smells like cedar and stuff. And when you stain it, they have natural stains and stuff, but usually it's still kind of smelly and stuff. So it's kind of useful to paint stuff to protect it and all, but you know, I'm a bit of a dirtbag, so it doesn't bother me.
I gotcha.
Barely.
It looks like Winter Punter is winning.
At this point.
I hate to say it, despite the warm weather.
Oh, it might drop.
It might do it.
Drop. Close.
Drop.
Go ahead. Ah.
One of your greatest strengths that you mentioned on Gutted was your adaptability. You were one of the people there that wasn't as traditionally trained. A lot of people there had electrician backgrounds, carpentry backgrounds, but as we previously mentioned, you kind of brought yourself up. Is there things that you're missing from your skill set that that you wish you had?
Probably, because there's just so much out there, and the more like van life grows and stuff, the more things they're putting in, and there's a lot of stuff. Like I've never put a shower in a rig, you know. I'm confident I could do it because I could figure it out.
Right.
So there's probably is stuff. I would say one of my greatest strengths is being able to troubleshoot a problem. And once you're good at that, you can kind of take any problem and figure it out.
Gotcha.
So there's stuff of like higher grades, super crazy electrical systems, tanks, and like more like RV type stuff, more than just like camper stuff that I don't have yet, and maybe ever. I don't know if I ever want to bring it to that point. But yeah, there's definitely some stuff that I could add on. Hey-oh.
Oh, corner pocket.
Counts. Give it some love.
Whoa. Is there a 2021 or 2022 season, or a second season rather, of Gutted coming out, and are we going to see Patrick Coar on the second season?
There is. It was already filmed a couple months ago. Might see a little, I might be in the background somewhere. I went and visited the first couple days, but all the contestants are new from the previous year. But they killed it. Those rigs are really cool. One of my favorite rigs ever is a Sunraider, and they had one of those, and it is really, really sweet.
And what is a Sunraider?
It's a Toyota pickup truck RV. So it's kind of got, it's an old Toyota truck, and then this cool shaped fiberglass box on the back.
Interesting.
Maybe fiberglass, might not be fiberglass.
Okay.
But they're super dope.
Cool.
Someday when I'm balling, I'll just have one of those in the back pocket.
Oh yeah.
Oh!
Mighty fine.
Good. Smooth. Come off it.
With Gadget,
Yes.
you've been to 48 states, is that correct?
The first half of that trip was with the first green van. The second half was with Gadget. I built her halfway in between.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have plans to add potentially another state, maybe one that's connected by a land bridge, or maybe another country?
Yeah, Alaska and Hawaii are both in the works definitely within the next 2 years.
You'll be able to tick off a few more courses. You've played 149
Yup.
till now, at least as far as your website's updated.
Yup. 149.
What is your favorite hole-in-the-wall course? One that people should know more about, but you're glad that more people don't, let's say.
Well, my favorite course in general is kind of hole-in-the-wall. I don't think people know about it. It's called Hannah Hills.
Okay.
I think it's in Missouri. I had, it might have been the last fan, but I bought it in California and I was driving back and just happened to stop. And it was just some gentleman's property that he had a long time, and then he got into disc golf.
Gotcha.
And he's like, oh, I could build a course here. And he has a bunch of lakes and a bunch of elevation. I met a lot of good people there. Then he has like a lot of fun stuff. If you like break a disc or have a disc, he has like this net you can throw it on and it funnels down into stuff. And really, really cool course. Dude was super, super nice. And it's just, someday that's every disc golfer's dream, to just have property and build a dope course.
Yeah.
So that would be my favorite. And it's still pretty hole in the wall because I don't think a lot of people know about it.
Yeah, I've certainly never heard of it, and
Yeah.
I don't think Missouri's known for disc golf.
For the disc
so.
golf. Missouri is slept on in general. There's a lot of good stuff in Missouri. With the slip.
With the slip,
Money.
slip ace.
Oh, the trees.
Rename it to the Pat Core slip ace.
Yep.
I got a game for you, Pat. We're
I
gonna
like
play drive through, stay in, stay over.
Okay.
Massachusetts, Oregon, Virginia.
Massachusetts, Oregon. Oregon, you stay.
Oregon, you're staying
You're
in.
staying.
Okay.
As long as you can stay in Oregon, stay in Oregon.
You got a reason for that one? Just the people, the culture, everything.
Yeah, it's wet.
Okay.
And it's cold, which is the only bad things, but it's not like that all the time.
Sure.
The nature is beautiful, the backcountry is beautiful, the national parks are beautiful, the people are beautiful because they're around all those beautiful places. It's a good place to be. Virginia's great. I like Virginia, but if it's between Virginia and Massachusetts, I would probably stay.
You're gonna
What was
stop
it?
in Massachusetts
Stop
and you're
in
gonna drive through
Massachusetts.
Virginia.
Drive through Virginia.
Gotcha.
Because if you're driving through Virginia, you're probably heading somewhere more fun. So
Okay.
that's how I would do it.
Do you have an underrated state to visit? Considering that you've been so many places, or maybe an underrated city or spot?
Yeah, Missouri is very underrated, and Idaho is very underrated.
Really?
Yeah, Idaho is, don't go telling everybody this, but Idaho has all the same cool stuff of the Pacific Northwest, plus some stuff that they don't have, and it's not filled with people yet, and that kind of stuff. So Idaho is really cool. That little skinny part, a lot of beautiful places there.
Nice.
There's one. Nice, dude.
Love to see it.
Nice putt.
Considering how much you've traveled,
Yes.
what are some of your favorite food spots? You can let's go one chain and one family-owned.
Yeah.
Similar to the hole-in-the-wall course question.
Yeah. I really don't do a lot of eating out on the road.
Oh,
Part of the way to make it affordable is to not do that.
interesting.
But I can think of a fun one. BJ's as the chain in Florida. I went there a couple times with my buddy Zach, and we had a really good time. And they have these like cookie platter desserts that they throw a bunch of ice cream on.
Cool.
So that place was really great. And then, let me think of, because I have been to them. Just don't know if I can think of the name. Is it okay if I can't think of the name?
That's okay.
So there's
What
There's-
state has the best food?
I don't even know. There was this bar in Colorado. We had met the people. We were at a disc golf course, Dillon Disc Golf Course, another gem of a course. in the school bus and met these people that were really cool and ended up talking to them. And they ended up being the bartenders of this bar that was in town. I think in Dillon, it might have been in Fresco, which I think is right on the other side of the lake. I can't remember the name at the moment, but they had some really good food and they were a lot of good people. So if you're in Colorado and you meet cool people on a course, wherever they tell you to go is probably be a good place.
Gotcha. Follow the locals.
Follow the locals, yeah.
Cool, will do.
That's a good point. If you're getting food somewhere, go where the locals tell you.
Oh, come on.
Come on! Yeah, yeah.
That was so pretty.
So pretty.
I'm gonna try to just copy it.
Off.
Oh, I wish I hit what you hit. That thing is in the water. You recently started a project called With Growth Comes Good. That's all capital W, capital G. You know,
Yep. All capitals.
Where did this project start and what does it mean to you?
It started when going all 48 states and traveling. There's lots of long hours of driving, which gets into long brainstorming sessions. And after you're doing a bunch of beautiful things in beautiful places and experiencing all this good stuff, I just feel really lucky to live the life that I do. There's a lot of people on this planet that don't get the opportunities. And it's not that I don't work hard and all that kind of stuff, but a lot of people work hard and they don't get the same chance and stuff. So I'm not super interested in making a bunch of money and all that kind of stuff. I don't think greed is a very good thing, and that people get, you know, they waste away trying to get money and all that kind of stuff. So just wanted a way to give back. And I feel like a lot of times people, they'll start a foundation or something once they've made it.
Yeah.
You know, like big disc golf, big everybody. They'll make it, they'll get a bunch of money, and then they can do something with it. And really, if people just started doing what they could, what they had at the moment that they could, more stuff would get done. And then the more I grow, the more good can be done. So that's where the name came from. Start small, do what I can now, let it build, and then by the time we're 20, 30 years down the road, there'll be 20, 30 years of work done before, you know, big projects, giant things can happen.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to do.
The name is kind of the message.
The name is the message, yep. The more you grow, the more good you can do, and start now, be a seed, and then grow with it.
Cool.
Give you a little bit of an air bounce, maybe. Oh, good tree.
She bounced though.
Good tree. I forgot, I'm not Simon Lizotte.
It's a good question. If you could copy any skill from any pro disc golfer, what would that be? It could even be like an IQ question, like Simon's creativity, Paul's clutch gene.
Yeah, I think, that's a good question. The first thing that popped in my head was Gannon Burr's putting.
Yeah.
Because
it's deadly.
It's deadly. The reps that he's put in create something that's deadly, and he's so young, it's only going to get better. And if I can make putts like that, you know, that drops a lot of strokes.
Yeah.
But the clutch gene for Ricky and Paul would both be really good to have. And Simon's creativity. Kristen Tatar is slapping it, being able to throw like her.
Yeah.
That's probably something a lot more realistic for me. I'm never going to be as strong as Ricky.
Sure.
You know? So any of those would really be great, I guess.
Cool. I like it. Nice. Do you imagine that with growth comes good? Do you see it developing to become more of a foundation, or is this a lifestyle? Is it gonna change as it grows?
I think it'll change as it grows. It's definitely, you know, if I could pick a dream job, it would be doing good for people as often as I can.
Sure.
So if eventually it grows and transitions into more of a official foundation or something like that, that would be great. If it never gets to that, that's okay too. I think there's a lot of, you know, other parts of life and the world that mix in when you make it that kind of stuff. When you take it away from just being a lifestyle and something you're trying to do for yourself.
Sure.
Or like with yourself. So I really don't know. It'll change, it'll transition. We'll see what I do, what I want to do, that kind of stuff. But yeah, for me, it's more important to keep it as not something so big, so it's something more obtainable for more people. When you get giant contracts and then you do that, people are like, that's great that they're doing good. I think it's great that they're doing good. But then it doesn't seem like obtainable for an average person. You know what I mean? So when you keep it small and keep it at your capacity, more will get done with more people.
I love it. Does the basket love it?
Oh!
Obviously, you have a plan for this, or, you know, a plan to let it grow and become its own thing.
Yeah.
What is so attainable right now, and what are you using that, I'll call it a brand, what are you using that brand to accomplish at the moment while it's still young and you're still young and letting it grow?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm using the brand to keep it all in one place. I'm a person that I like to take notes, I like to write stuff down, and keep things organized, so it's easier to look back and build on and see what you did. So that's kind of why I wanted to make it separate and a bit of its own thing, but it's also mixed in a lot with my own personal stuff.
Right.
Because it is part of me. I do have, you know, a notes in my phone that is a million miles long of a whole bunch of different ideas, but I'm weary of speaking things into existence before they're ready to go. You know what I mean? I kind of like keeping it and letting whatever happens in life allow those ideas to come. Because if I could do all of them, that would be great, but that's not necessarily possible. So there's lots in there that I want to do, a lot of good stuff, a lot of different projects, a lot of things that relate to disc golf and to van life and to just things in general and people, but I'll let those come into light as they come into life, and can't really think of the word, evolve as they do. It was kind of something fun to add to that point, just because we were just talking about Kristen. The last interview I saw with her, I think it was for a dynamic YouTube video or something, they asked her about her plans, and she said there's a lot of magic to an idea that's kept to yourself, and that when it gets out there too early, it loses that magic. Okay. And that kind of stuck with me, and that's the same type of point I'm trying to do here.
Keeping the magic in it.
Keeping
I like that.
Keeping the magic in it, yeah.
Oh yeah. That is so good.
Boom. Nice.
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 Pat, we were kind of joking about your winter and summer putters.
Yes.
Obviously, we've been talking about it the whole round. What is going on with your putters? Because you are very unique. You're the only person I know who might putt with a premium plastic putter.
Yeah. I don't really know where it came from. I just got one and decided to try it, and it went really well. For a long time, it did exactly the same thing because it was premium. It's kind of a little beat up and flippy now, but it's also in the winter when it's cold and wet, the premium plastic doesn't work well at all.
Gotcha.
So I switched over to a Faith. I just kind of liked the mold. I had grabbed one, and I'm trying to figure it out. I used an Atom for a little bit too, so I don't really know what's going on with my putter.
Gotcha.
Trying my hardest to figure it out, and there's also so many less reps that happen in the winter, so it's harder for me to figure it out, and then it might work one day and then I go back out and hadn't played for a week, so then it doesn't. Okay. So I guess just figuring it out.
Do you find that traveling and living van life kind of on and off for months at a time allows you to play more or less disc golf, or has wanting to play competitively been affected by that, you know?
Yeah, I definitely play a lot of disc golf when I'm traveling. That's kind of probably my most common activity when I'm traveling, because there's just so many beautiful courses, and it's a great thing to do outside and see where it is. And in all the cool places, there's really cool courses. Right. So I definitely play a ton traveling. Competitive, you know, it would always be a fun thing to, you know, go do a bit of the tour and stuff and see that. I've gone to a couple events, and there's a lot of van life in that side of things.
Okay.
So I don't know if it'd be me playing or me building vans or that kind of stuff, but it's definitely something I can mix well with and might happen in the future.
Okay, being like a tour adjacent van life advisor or something
Yeah,
like that.
advisor
Maybe.
or building vans for traveling people. I did a van for Gatekeeper,
Cool.
which was pretty cool and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff where van life and disc golf meet, and the people that do van life and the people that do disc golf are pretty, you know, mashy people. So
A lot of overlap there.
a lot of overlap.
Having been around the van life for 5+ years now, building out a ton of rigs, working with Gatekeeper and being a disc golfer, what are some troubles or advice, let's say, from an experienced van lifer that you could give to people trying to get on the road now?
Yeah, I say that the biggest thing, which sounds so simple, is to just do it.
Sure.
But to get more in detail is start small. You don't need these big fancy vans that everybody has to get started. It's probably not a good idea to get those because your ideas will change and your wants will change, and you probably don't know what you want right now.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So start as small as you can. There's no rules.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to go build a house, there's rules.
Yeah.
You have to do it a certain way. You have to get people to come in and make sure you do it that certain way. With the van that you're doing for yourself, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
So there's a million resources out there that'll tell you to do it. You have to do it this way. You have to do it that way. So do that. Get out, have fun, be creative, especially now because van life's not new, but like, you know, big van life is still pretty new. There's still so much out there that hasn't been tried. So
Right.
if everyone just tries to keep building the same van that they've seen, we're not going to get anywhere. It'll be a lot less fun.
Yeah. As we are finishing up, I would love to hear about your favorite disc and your favorite shot to throw.
My favorite disc is the Hex.
The Hex. Any
For sure.
specific plastic or any?
A stable Hex.
Okay.
They tend to come, you know, out of the box stable and then they get loose. I did just get a Glow Hex, which I haven't tried yet, but hopefully that keeps its stability.
Right.
I'll throw a Hex. I mean, I've thrown that 90% of the shots, so I beat them up quick.
Yep.
So if you can get a nice, stiff, stable one, that would be my favorite.
Okay.
What was the other part?
Favorite shot to throw.
Favorite shot to throw? Probably a flip-up fairway driver,
Backhand.
star valk, backhand, or a vanish. I love when I'm feeling it, I'm playing a lot, and you can hit that angle, and it just comes up to flat and glides, and then comes back where you want it.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite damn shot.
Full control over the whole flight.
Yeah, full control, and it's a snap. It doesn't need a bunch of power. You just give it the spin, and it does what it's supposed to do.
Cool.
That's what I like.
Very artsy. It's
Very
like you're painting
artsy.
lines.
Yep.
I dig it. Ew.
Warming up now.
There we go.
Shame it's the 17th hole. Nice. Got you on the backswing.
That's a funky disc.
This guy?
Yeah. What's going on there?
Razor Claw Thunderbird.
Oh.
Big germ guy.
Okay. Hold on.
Thing is nasty.
Shout out. This is the second germ shout out on this series, so I don't know. Maybe it's a sign. You spend a lot of time traveling and playing disc golf, but what is or what are some of your favorite non-disc golf activities to do? I'm sure you're afforded a lot of opportunity to, mountain climb or hike or swim.
Yeah, I guess favorite activity, cliff jumping.
Yeah?
I loved cliff jump. Something about falling is just a good time. Sure. That half second in the air when you're just paused. Big fan of that. There's not, too much of that to do, but that would be my favorite. Other than that, I spend a lot of time hiking, and that's just more because I like seeing the pretty places. Long walks aren't my favorite thing, but I like to hike to see the stuff, and just kind of exploring in the van. There's so many spots, and it's like, even our local area has all these different parks and little spots and stuff. And when I'm traveling, that's what I go to, and that's what is a lot of fun. Because for me, it's different, and even if for the locals, they're like, yeah, I've been there 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But I like jumping around, and I'll go to 5 different spots in a day just to see it.
Gotcha.
So I guess it would be seeing the stuff I haven't seen before is a very favorite activity.
So I was curious about your van, Gadget. You said there's a lot of cool things that she does and she has.
Yeah.
Would you mind giving us a short tour after the round's done?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Awesome. Let's close this out and we'll check out the van.
Sounds good.
Let's
go!
Love to see it.
We do love to see it.
Winter putter for the win, everybody.
Winter putter for the win. Is this a par 4?
Yeah.
You love ending on an eagle.
Absolutely.
GG's.
All right.
Let's check out that van.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is Gadget. As you can see, it's pretty spacious. I've got a bench, a bunch of storage. This is my bed. This pulls out on these slats to make pretty much a full-size bed. This is a camera drawer. Holds all my camera stuff with built-in charging. A table that pulls out and goes with these 2 seats to make a booth. All my clothes storage is back in there, chargers, that sort of things. This is a composting toilet, which is pretty neat and very useful. A screen that plugs into my phone and my PlayStation so I can play my games. Bookshelf, kitchen shelf, little dinette thing, little medicine cabinet back there. I have running water. All the water goes down there. There's a diesel heater. And then this is the front bench, a fridge that pulls out. And then this bench very quickly turns into a kitchen. And that's pretty much the main reason she's called Gadget. Little outdoor table, and then a garage for all that dabbling I do. This pulls out. This turns into an outdoor kitchen too, but lots of storage and gear, snowboard, bags. I can fit my bike in there, all that kind of stuff. And then on this side, I've got some climbing pieces up onto the roof deck. Rooftop vibes are very nice. That's the quick tour.
Really impressive van build, Patrick. Can you tell me a little bit about what we got going on in here? I know you mentioned cedar and pine earlier.
Yeah, it's all the roof is cedar, the walls are all pine. Most of the plywood and stuff is also pine, and an acacia countertop. But really it's just the wood that I can find. But it worked out well.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what are some of the more unique, cooler things that Gadget has?
Yeah, so the cool stuff about Gadget is all the cool things you can turn and transition into. So we saw that kitchen popping out and folding down. There's a stove in the wall, which is pretty neat. This bed pulls all the way out and goes back up super easily. This table comes out, there's a toilet. So really you can just do everything. In 64 square feet. Pretty much every piece of this was in a different build at some point. And as I went along, I kept pulling in the pieces I liked and getting rid of the stuff I didn't. And then we ended up with this, which can, host 7 people hanging out. I can cook as much food as I want. I can sit across from somebody. I can pull the bed out. I can just do everything.
Yeah. Is there anything you think you nailed that's not going to change?
I think I nailed this build, truthfully.
Really, all the way through?
Yeah, there's some things I want to add to make it even more cool. but I don't think there's much that I would change completely. That's all the previous 15 builds kind of led to this for me to have and be my perfect van for me. And I'm pretty happy with what I ended up with.
I bet.
Yeah.
Any sneak peek on additions?
Yeah, there's a couple things. The main thing is I'll be adding a lot of windows eventually. Right now there's no windows back here. So there'll be one behind you, one next to the bed. I'm gonna do 2 little ones on this sliding door. And actually this sliding door is kind of cool because it's a hedge.
Wow.
So there'd be 2 windows that'll all be framed out, and that'll be sweet. And then a lot of exterior stuff. Eventually I'll put big old shocks on. I have a light bar that's gonna go in. These shelves will eventually connect into that overhead space, and there'll probably be a window up there too if I can pull it off. But yeah, mainly just a lot of windows. Yeah, I think that's really all I need to add.
Cool. Well, I'm sure you got a whole vision and you're going to execute it well.
I hope so.
Patrick, is there any way the viewers can support you?
Yeah, absolutely. If they wanted to follow along, Patchworks on Instagram is my main social media platform. And I also just dropped a website, that's patchworks.com. So that has links to everything. I'm on YouTube with my adventures, how-tos, van stuff, that kind of stuff. And then all my affiliate links for different things, composting toilet and stuff like that is all through that website. So if you wanted to check me out, be the website or the Instagram, and that's about it. Yeah.
Cool, and all those links are going to be in the description. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.